All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Sister Deborah is coming this evening with a message. Yes, this message is going to cover David and Nathan in Second Samuel. In Second Samuel chapter 7, and we're going to start with verse 3. And this is the prophet Nathan. He was the prophet that was given unto David. Okay. See, now this is the issue I have with people today. I have some serious issues with people today because if y'all felt it was needed that his servants needed to have a prophet. He put them at hand. Every time he felt that he needed his own prophet to be at either the right hand or the left hand of his servant, he placed him there. So what would that tell you today in how y'all the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, to where you all feel that there shouldn't be a prophet? Now, I can't say all of you, but most people in the midst. This is what Judah is missing. A prophet of Yah in the midst. It is not like they don't have one, because they do. Now, they have a bunch of clowns in the midst claiming to be the prophets of Yah. And it's clearly seen that they are not. But that's how Judah is and was. They never wanted to serve Yah, to abide by Yahweh's. So they wouldn't abide by the prophets that Yah was sent in the midst of them in such a serious time as this. This is what the so-called Hebrew Israelites, the so-called true Jews, the so-called children of the Most High Yah, this is what they are missing. And it's not like they're missing it in the spirit. Oh, no. Because believe it or not, I could care less. I'm there. I know my purpose. I know why I am here on this earth as a servant of the Most High Yah, as a prophetess. And just because Judah don't accept the prophetess don't mean nothing in the eyes of Yah. He has to be the one that constantly telling me, Deborah, these things need be, baby. Every prophet I have had, the whole house of Israel had an issue with them. Who do you think killed the prophet? The house of Israel. So you see how Yah can put his prophets in the midst of people and they still won't receive them. But it matching yesterday. That's why I can't let them pull up Torah. I can't let them pull up yesterday and make it like it is today. Because you're missing the prophets of the Most High Yah in the midst of Judah. And he ain't going to send a lot of them either. You be lucky if you get one. So here in 2 Samuel chapter 7, we're going to start with verse 3. And this is the prophet Nathan to David. Did not Moses have a prophet and a prophetess? See, what's going on today? They want to run back into yesterday. They want to hold on to Moses, but they want to hold on to him. They want to hold on to Torah. They want to hold on to yesterday without the anointed ones that Yah has sent to be in the midst of them. So all these camps don't mean a rest behind to the Most High Yah. They might mean something to you, but to the Most High Yah, the men of Judah, his own in the midst of them. And if they don't receive him, then yeah, that's why he's letting them be out there. They're in a awakening. They're in a state of sleep to the flesh. But Yah didn't put them asleep. He said they were partially blind. That means what happened to the other part, Father Yah? Only until they were to be blind partially, only until the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. The time of the Gentiles have been fulfilled. If the Gentiles are not already grafted, they ain't going to be grafted. So it is nothing the Catholics, the Christians, the Jehovah's Witness, the seven event, it's nobody can be grafted in to the root, to the vine today that heavens ain't already grafted in yesterday, which is before the foundation of the world. Hello. So to say that is, I continue to wear you out about it's over, it's finished. This is what makes it finish and it's over. Because you see this little religion that ain't got no weight, ain't got no life. They don't have spirit and truth, and they don't have a power. And they out there in their newfound religion, the Hebrew Israelite. It is a movement. It is a cult. It is not of Yah. And you're not going to find it nowhere in your study guide. How about that? How about that? That Yah sent or Yah gathered them to come into a oneness. A bunch of men. You ain't going to find it. And if you find it in your study, guy, bring that bad boy to me and let me break it down to you in the spirit realm. How about that? How about that? Oh yeah. See, you can find anything in the flesh realm. But bring that bad boy to this sister here that will dissect that bad boy in the spirit realm and tell you really what it is. Then they walking to and fro in this earth, gathering themselves as a oneness with no power, no word, and no spirit of the Father. But these men is riding high because the whole deception is to make these men think that they are men. The weakest thing a man can be is a man that don't know he was created to be a man. He was created to make decisions, not based on what another man make for him. I remember, what was my friend name? He called me in the it was 3 a.m. He's out there in Texas. I got his name and everything. He's with the Hebrew Israelite in Texas. He called me he texted me, he commented on one of my videos, and he said that he needed somebody to talk to. Praise the mighty Yah. See, that's what I'm saying. The men of Yah, they know who Yah servants really are. This man didn't know me from his own nothing. He didn't know me, but he heard me speak. And he was telling me about how the Hebrew Israelites, they're going out on the downtown, and they doing this rally, and they doing this thing that he feel that's so evil. He felt that the Most High wasn't leading him there, and he couldn't sleep. So he said he heard me speaking, and he knew that if anybody he can talk to, maybe if he can get a message into me. And let me tell y'all, we commented all night long. I mean, it was early morning. We did. And I suggested him that he do not go out. He felt his life was going to end if he were to go out, because what they were doing, he said, it felt so deadly. It felt so wrong. They stepped into his family, were his new wife, and they started to come in and counsel his wife in how to let him rule. And he said him and his wife had a wonderful marriage. They had been married, I think he said 3 years. And he said they didn't have no issues, but they didn't like how he felt about his wife. So they wanted him to understand he's the ruler, he's the leader. He don't have no problem in his household being there. See, that's what you all don't understand, Judah men. You don't need another man coming into your household or ministering to you how to be a man, how to be a leader, how to be a ruler. Because if the ruler comes into you and lead and guide you into being ruler and leader, you ain't got nothing than another flesh. What did David say? David say, I have my sin, my iniquity, and my wickedness in your sight, Father. So what makes you think that this other man that is flesh don't have iniquity, wicked, and sin? And he gonna rule your household and teach you how to get your household over under a rulership like the flesh that they trained themselves to be? Oh no, baby, because this thing ain't in the flesh. They have no idea of what is actually saying. There have been things added, things taken away, things smeared. I mean, things change, words change. You cannot go into your study app and make it Yah, who is the word. He told you in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with Yah, and the word is Yah. And verse 2 said it was with him in the beginning. What is it they don't get, Deborah? It's what they don't got. Father Yah. They don't get what they don't got. And that's you. You ain't living in them. That's what they don't get. Because they ain't got you. You see? They missing it. So my thing here is, I wasn't supposed to say all that. But what got me was the moment I looked at Nathan, the prophet, and realized Yah gave him to David. Yah gave Moses prophets. Yah's son Israel a prophet all the time. But then y'all stand y'all nasty tails. And yes, I can say that because I'm speaking of the flesh. And walk up and down and to and fro this wicked dark world. And deny the servant of the Most High Yah that he has in the midst of you. Yah has taught me the level of understanding. You don't miss out, Deborah. I created you a lane. Ask them, where is your lane? They don't have now. So don't ever get in a situation where you get caught up from the floor because they don't recognize you. They don't hear you. They don't understand you. They don't get what you said. They ain't even done that for me, baby. These things need be. Everything ain't for everybody. You see? Get in your lane and let them find theirs, because they're not going to find it. You see what I'm saying? So I, Sister Deborah, as a prophetess in the wilderness, come to you tonight, this evening, this Sunday evening, with an awesome message. And the reason why I'm coming from 2 Samuel chapter 7, which I would have never went that route. It's a lot of things y'all assured me that I wouldn't have never went. Because I'm so in tune with hearing the Ruach. But what he want me to do is kind of go over this and show you how even David didn't follow the protocol. And then you all didn't understand in the New Testament, he always said, it was said, always turn to Psalms. Read Psalms. Stay in Psalms, because Psalms is David at a potent level of who you are today. David would get you what David is saying. He's saying it, and he's in the flesh, but he is a man out of Yah's spirit. So he's giving you the whole loadout in Psalms, a place that many, 99 times 20 billion wouldn't go near, but they think they awakened to something. So let's get into 2 Samuel chapter 7. And when I realized, when I said the prophet Nathan, it dawned on me. See, Deborah, it don't matter who I send to these people. Their neck is really as stiff can be defined in any dictionary, in any Hebrew language, in any Greek. This stiff neck is a stiff neck from the kingdom. This disobedient is a disobedient from the kingdom. This rebellion is a rebellion from the kingdom. That's why it won't change. See what I'm saying? That's why it ain't gonna have no change to it. Okay. 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 3. And Nathan said unto the king, which is King David, go, do all that is in thy heart, for Yah is with thee. Okay. So here the prophet is telling him to do, no. I think we better go back up to verse 2. I think we need to, so we can kind of get some sort of idea of what's going on. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 2. That the king said unto Nathan, the prophet, see now, I dwell in a house of cedar. That's David. But the ark of Yah dwelleth within curtains, meaning a tent. The ark of Yah dwelleth within curtains, like a tent. But David says to Nathan, see now, I dwell in a house of cedar, a real house. But listen to this. But the ark of Yah, where the strongholds are at, dwelleth within curtains. And Nathan said unto the king, go, do all that is in thy heart, for Yah is with thee. Verse 4. And it came to pass that night that the word, yeah. Do y'all understand what that word is? That's not this book. The word of Yah is not a book. It's not a book. It's not a book of the giants. It's not a book of nothing. No lost books, no found books is the word. They are words of many voices of men of Yah. They are words. They are stories. But don't you ever connect their words to be the word of the Most High Yah. The word was to come in us and live in us and to teach us all things. If you get a man, the word was, then it wouldn't be no need for the Messiah. Because we would have had everything we needed through the flesh of men. And this is why you had all these denominations, all these religions, all these interpretations, all these beliefs, all these lost spirits, lost with the cause and without. Because they are not under the true teacher, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, the Father himself. Okay, so here in verse let's see where we at. In verse 4, and it came to pass that night that the word of Yah That's the word, child. That's the word. That is the word, child. See, the word is Yah, and Yah is the word. The word speak in the power bring forth that which the word speak to bring forth. So it's impossible for this book to be the power of the word. It's impossible for it to be the word of the power. Because you can't take this book and go lay it on somebody and they wake up out of their grave. You can't take this book and go lay it on somebody and they heal. You can't take this book and put it in the eyes of a blind person and they see. You can't take this book and put it to an ear and they hear. The deaf hear. You's a liar. And the truth will and shall not be ever found in you. Because we in that in there. And you still ain't got it right. Okay. So here in verse 4, it says, and it came to pass that night that the word of Yah came unto Nathan. Nathan is the prophet unto David, saying, go and tell my servant. Now you see the two separate. You see how the prophet is the mouthpiece of Yah, and David is the servant of Yah. We still are all servants to Yah, but Yah got different servants working different positions. You see? That's why it's no such thing as the Hebrew Israelite, all men this and men that. It's a cult. It's a deception. And that's why these men can't be delivered. And they have no idea they have changed all of Judah that's on this earth who don't even know they Judah, but gave them a way out of being leader, king, and ruler. And that's just why they went in killing everything that they felt they had the power to rule, even the very death of women and their children. This is the sickness of Judah. Okay, so here it goes in verse 5. The father is telling Nathan, the prophet, to go and tell the servant of David, thou said Yah, shall thou build me a house for me to dwell in? Verse 6, whereas I have not dwelled in any house since the time that I brought up the children of Israel out of Egypt, even to this very day, David, but I have walked in the tent in a tabernacle. See, they never built him a place made of cedar. They never built him a real house of worship. He's telling Nathan the prophet, go tell David. He's in the cedar. He's in a house. Even my strolls, even my ark is in a tent. And then a whole service in a tent. My altar is in a tent. They hold service in a tent. My ark is in a tent. He's telling the prophet, go tell David. Now watch this here. In verse 6, it says, whereas I have not dwelled in a house since the time that I brought up the children out of Israel, the children of Israel out of Egypt. You know why? The children of Israel has never been about nothing, but everybody want to make them something today, especially those who call themselves awakening. That's why I said, oh, let me get this here right quick. I'm sorry. Oh my. Let me take care of this. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. It's been dropped off. So, uh, 1 minute. Okay. Okay. That's taken care of. But the problem here, and it is a problem with me, because I'm sick of people wanting to really continue to kill the service Yah has working on his behalf in such a critical time as this. Tribulation, perilous times have poured up, lawlessness, the judgment of the Father is on the earth. He's released the principalities to the earth. See, a lot of y'all, when y'all look at me all cockeyed because I said that. But the whole internet is telling you they're calling the fallen angels are here. They calling them that aliens are here. No, Yah has released them from the principalities to come down to the earth because they got to show up and show out, which they're doing. This is why you see all this stuff going on. And see, in people's mind, they so into politics. They so in tune to the things of the world, so heavy into it to where they ain't even got no spiritual life going on. That's the place you need to be. In a spiritual setting, talking about spirit and truth and showing you the light that always exists in darkness. That's where you need to have your butt. Not in all this politics and Donald Trump and all this old mess. It's nothing wrong with bringing light out of that. But you need to first get your light in Yah shine. Okay, so here Nathan is telling David about listen to what he said, verse 6. We in 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 6. Whereas I have not dwelled in any house since the time that I brought up children out of Israel, out of Egypt, even to this day. He's telling this is David, but have walked in a tent and in a tabernacle. That's where they hold service. But you ain't built the building for him. So what happens? Watch this here, verse 7. In all the places wherein I have walked with all the children of Israel, spoke I a word with any of the tribes of Israel whom I commanded to feed my people Israel, saying, why build ye not me a house of cedar? He's saying all the men of Yah, no one ever built him a place of worship. They kept him in a tent. That's the farthest they put the tabernacle and the curtains. They left them there. But did they build themselves? Sure, David and them built them some houses. They built everything. Oh yes, not only David, all of them. All the men of Yah always built themselves. And that's how I try to tell y'all today. A lot of your heart is about you. It's not about somebody else, but Yah gonna leave you right there. Did not he leave David there? He let him know though. Look here, bro. You ain't never built me. But listen to what he said. And he sent his prophet to check David in this area. And it wasn't so much as checking him, but giving him the final word of judgment regarding not building me a house of cedar where I and the house of Israel can worship. Thou kept me in the tents where curtains, the tabernacle and the ark in curtains, surrounded in curtains. Now he said here, listen to this. He said here, why? We in verse 7. At the end of verse 7, it says, why build ye not me a house of cedar? Why is he saying that? Because he was saying to Nathan that David built him a house of cedar. Why didn't you build me a house? Well, y'all see, and that's that same sick mess that's going on today. When Sister Deborah says it should be a way that if you follow Sister Deborah a certain length of time, we should be gathering, having some sort of gathering at least once a year. If we don't do it once a year, twice a year, but at least once a year, but they don't want it. They don't want it. That look at the father saying that David never built him. And watch this, watch this, watch this. Watch what he's saying. I want y'all to hear this. Go back to 7. He's not just talking about David. Listen to what he said. In all the places wherein I have walked with all the children of Israel, spoke I a word with any of the tribes of Israel. Watch this. Who I commanded to feed my people Israel, saying, why build ye not me a house of cedar? Those that he had put in to talk and to minister and feed the word to Israel, the leaders, see that mess they got going on? They never built him a place. It's the same way today. They won't build a unity where we all come together and we all make it work and we all sit down and be about the Father's business. Oh no, just be about yours and you yours and I'm mine, because and I don't know how he's going to do that, because if all of us have sinned, we got iniquity. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I'm just so grateful that I know it started before the foundation of the world. And there is where you're written to be, where you're going to be for eternal. And where you're going even when the Mount Zion is ready. A lot of people thinking they're going and they're going to be there. They do not see where he said he's going to purge out the rebels. Of who? The whole house of Israel and Judah. And what else he's going to do? He's going to take the transgressors out before he take his remnant to Mount Zion. Do they believe it? No. But it's coming from the servant of Yah. Those very words I'm saying is Sister Deborah, is the servant of Yah. And right here, he's saying how the house of Israel always got together, but those that led and that he commanded to leave the house of Israel, they always kept the Father worship in a tent, even his ark in curtains in a tent. So this is what he's saying. Now, verse 8, he's telling Nathan to tell David that, because David did it too. So that's why I tell y'all, don't let these people tell y'all to go back to yesterday. Y'all spoke yesterday. We were supposed to take it today and be a little bit better. But what did he say? Today is worse than yesterday. Hello. You're worse than your forefathers. Hello. So I can understand why, if you followed me past 2 years, it's no reason we should have been getting together once a year, if not twice. It's no reason for there to be some sort of unity in Yah. Yah is speaking of a building. Why? He's speaking of a multitude of millions of Israel and those who were leading, those who were commanded by Yah to lead them. They always did it in a tent, in a curtain. He said, well, why didn't y'all build me a house? You built yourself one. Didn't I tell you? Now watch this here, verse 8. Now, therefore, so shall thou say unto my servant David, thou said Yah of hosts, I took thee from the shepherd coat, from following the sheep as a shepherd. That's what David was, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. Telling the prophet to tell him, you was working for your daddy, dealing with the sheep. I took you from your father's house. And what did he say here? And I took thee from the sheep coat, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. Verse 9. And I was with thee whatsoever thou wentest. See that spirit of Yah followed him every place he go. So y'all got it all wrong. You always had it wrong. That's why y'all never got the glory and got the honor. That's why he was never exalted. That was why he was never praised. He was never exalted as being all that he is to me. Today, I know that he all that and some. But yesterday he wasn't given that, because Every time you turn around, these men were always, even David, it was always about them. A man cannot lead nothing. That's why he needs a prophet or a servant of the Most High Yah in the midst of them if he leading the house of Israel. Because this is what Yah told Nathan to tell David. Now listen to what it says, verse 9. And I was with thee wheresoever thou wentest, and have cut off all thy enemies. See, a lot of people, and that used to bother me too. I said, Father, they know darn well David didn't kill no giant. But why is it they can't bring it into the spirit of truth? Why can't they shine the bright light on it? I was young, y'all, and I knew that. I knew David couldn't kill that. But y'all made it about the flesh of these men today, like you made it about the flesh of these men today, the flesh of these men yesterday. Everything. That's why I tell you, all these books are stories about the flesh of these men. You have to have the Ruach so he can rightly divide this mess and let you see what is spirit and what is truth. Because right now, through your naked eyes, your sinful eyes, your wicked eyes, your fleshly wisdom, your fleshly knowledge, your fleshly understanding, along with your emotions and your personal feelings and your personal opinion and your personal comprehension is all the way to the left heel. Don't mean a rat's behind in darkness. Till you bring that bad boy to the light. Till you bring it into spirit and truth. So here, the Father is telling you right here, like I always knew as a teenager, David didn't kill no giant. That was Yah. Listen to what Yah said to Nathan to tell David. I was with thee whatsoever thou wentest, and have cut off all enemies out of thy sight. All the battles David ever fought, all them armies, they were never fought by David, but the Most High Yah. And I say unto you, each and every last one of you out here, I don't care what you got, what you have, where you think you're going, with what you got and what you have. Let me tell you something. It ain't no battle that you fought of your own. And you're going to fight if you with Yah. And Yah, not if you with Yah, if Yah is with you. We give ourselves too much credit. We give ourselves too much glory. We give ourselves too much honor and ain't do a rat's behind in this nasty flesh, our worst enemy. So he's sitting here telling Nathan to tell David, and the first thing I like, he told him, you was just a shepherd boy, and I made you a ruler. And you will never get these nasty tribe of Judah men that's out here with all these different religion, these different cults, and these different different, not religion, just but different organizations. Talking about we awaken. So here he is telling his Nathan the prophet to approach David on this matter, and he said, listen to what he said, and have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name. See, y'all run around here thinking it's about you and yours. Everybody's so bombarded in that flesh till it's crazy. I'm just a grateful servant of the Most High Yah to be able to know truth in the level of spirit and truth, where the light shineth on darkness. That's the type of truth I'm so in tune in that I'm grateful to the point where the Creator saw fit that he could share these things with this flesh here, because he invested himself in me. And I'm hearing him. I'm saluting him. I'm agreeing. Not because I'm just want to be in there or want to fit in. No. I believe everything he say to me. And some. So y'all can just sit down if you can find a seat. Okay. So right here he says, and I fought, he said, and have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight. So the giant that y'all think that he killed, every battle, it's all David was doing was fighting armies. Y'all telling them I did that out of thy sight. and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of a great man that are in the earth. He made him a great name to be like a great man in the earth. So a lot of you all will hook up to David and give him all his glory and his honor and his praise. And Sister Deborah is always bringing Psalms to you because I want you to hear David's standpoint of really who Yah is, how he felt that Yah is compared to who he is. Oh, David will tell you. David would tell you. But that's why in the New Testament, it tells you stick with Psalms, stay in Psalms, because it's a part of David is telling you that, let me tell you, I'm crying. But Yah is all this. Let me tell you what he did. Let me tell you how he did it, when he did, and the way he did. But nobody don't want to go there because nobody want to see Yah get no glory. None whatsoever. Nobody don't want to see Yah get nothing. But you's a liar from the pit of hell, and the pit of hell where you assigned in the book. Because he's going to be all that and some, whether now one of us give him the glory, whether now one of us give him the praise, whether now one of us exalt him, he's still going to get the glory. Okay? So he's sitting here telling Nathan to tell him, David, that that's who you are. I made you. All this that I done that before the foundation of the world, and I made sure you succeed in everything I created for you. Now watch verse 10. Let's come on out. Come go with me. Verse 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of the wickedness afflict them anymore as before time. So what Yah is saying here, he's telling you that Israel is not going to be afflicted by the children of wickedness. So this is why people who are in this country, one thing I would say to those who are grafted in, you be careful. Thinking you grafted in, but you still have a perpetual hate. You still have this hate, not understanding what Yah just said. Yah just identified that there is a people that are children of wickedness that has interfered with the people of Israel. He don't lie, you lie. He don't lie. The Most High don't lie. Ahaya don't lie. The Most High Yah don't lie. Yahuwah don't lie. He's calling it out. And he's saying in verse 10, moreover, I will appoint a place for my people, Israel, and will plant them, and they may dwell in the place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of the wicked afflict them anymore as before time. Now, he's actually letting you know that Israel is known as a nation that always being afflicted by children of the wicked. That's what he's telling you today. So when you're thinking that Israel is the one, it's the children of the wicked is the one. Because see, they are already signed to the lake of hell. They're the ones to give the children of Israel the hard time. But also you got to understand, who is the children of Israel? This is another thing 99.15 trillion don't understand. When Yah is speaking of Israel, and Yah is speaking of the whole Israel, he's speaking of the whole Israel in spirit. Okay? He's speaking of the whole Israel that's in spirit. He ain't speaking of the Israel that are the children of wickedness. Because just like the other nation that are the children of the wickedness that has always been wicked toward Israel, there are also Israel that's been wicked toward Israel themselves. Those are not the children that he wants you to think or wants you to know, or the children of the promise. See, let me say this right quick while the Spirit is heavy on me about it. See, what people didn't know, here he is telling who? The prophet to tell David thousands of years ago that I got a ram in the bush invested in Israel. And I'm going to give them their own place where they'll never, ever, ever be moved again. Once it's in this one, they'll never be moved again. But notice this place that he's talking about. It's holy. The only way he can bring that flesh into that place, he's got to convert them into holiness. And what do you mean convert them? Because they're going to still be in the flesh. So he got to convert them in full form while they're in the flesh into holiness. How is he going to do that? He got them already written in the Lamb Book of Life. He knows already that when Israel come to the promised land that he has created, they'll never be moved again because they are the ones that are written in the Lamb Book of Life. Okay? So don't think that he's saying that the children of the wickedness is the only ones down here wicked. No. Israel is also wicked children. He's speaking of how the wicked children interfere with the spiritual children of Israel. He's not talking about with the wicked children of Israel. He's talking they always interfere and always on or after the spiritual children of Israel. See, that's why I say all these Hebrew Israelites that took y'all so far deep in the ocean, y'all ain't gonna ever see dry land. Okay, so this is what he's saying to Nathan to tell David. Listen to what he says. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Only place that can be is Mount Zion. Never shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before. Now those children, he said, the wickedness is the children of the wickedness, because you know what? In Israel there are children of the wickedness. See, y'all keep thinking that only the all these Gentiles and heathen, oh, they bothering us. No, baby, Israel bothering Israel. Judah is bothering Judah. And to say that that is not true, all you have to do is do your study. Get your tail and do 1 week. I dare you to do 1 week on Judah. It'll blow your mind. Just do it. Look, just listen to everything and learn everything for 1 week, and then you'll see the ugliness that's in Judah. It's like that in the house of Israel. Same way. They were like that back then. So if that's the case, he's going to have to allow Solomon and Gomorrah to also enter into the kingdom. Oh, yes. In the book of Judge, Benjamin, all of them homosexuals. He's going to have to let all, no matter what they are, come on, y'all. This was made for y'all to have y'all own land. That y'all got him bent. That's why he sent y'all his servant to be in the midst of you all, to help you all understand what is spirit and truth and what it's like. But no, you all don't want that. You want these men that said, oh, we are ruler, we are leader, we are kings, we in control. In the flesh, y'all. You see how sick y'all are out here? These men are ruling y'all from the flesh level, and you gonna tell me he ain't gonna send me as a spirit to walk in the spirit of his word, to be a servant and a mouthpiece for him? You gonna tell the creator, who is the I am that I am? He said he will make the rocks cry out unto him. He told him he can cause the rocks to be added as children. Take the rocks so that Abraham can have children. See, he's showing you that power. Don't need you. But see, the way they got it set up throughout this whole platforms, these men in Judah, It's very little of them, but they just is off the chain, and they don't see where he's saying that he's going to purge the rebels out. He's going to take the transgressors that was against him out before he take his remnant over to the promised land. That's showing you he ain't taking everybody, and everybody ain't going. So I love this, that the Father is telling the prophet, check David, let him know straight up from the floor up. And I love it because he's being the mouthpiece for the Father directly to David. You know, Yah didn't dealt with David one-on-one. But see, Yah shows you don't rule him. You don't set his order up. You don't tell him he can't have a woman to speak. You don't tell him that he can't have a man to speak. You don't tell him who is who and what's what. Oh, they can't say nothing. They need to be quiet. And then the flesh of Paul tells you that the women are to be silent. They had that all wrong. We're going to do that. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. They lied on Paul. They lied on Paul. They did not tell you what was going on when Paul made that statement. And Sister Deborah going to break that thing. What Sister Deborah going to do is Sister Deborah going to take that thing up and she going to land that thing down. Because y'all been lying. Okay? So here, he's telling, in verse 10, let's just hear what he's telling Nathan, the prophet, to tell David. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people, Israel, and I will plant them, and they may dwell in a place of their own and move no more. Neither shall the children of the wicked afflict them anymore as before time. Verse 11. And as since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thy enemies. Also, Yah telleth thee that he will make thee an house. He will make thee a house. So what happened is, let's go to verse 12. And when thy days are fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy father. He's telling the prophet to tell this to David when he died. I will set up thy seed after thee, which is Solomon, after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, meaning his son Solomon, and I will establish his kingdom. He established Solomon's kingdom. Why? Because Solomon did what David never did. And David was supposed to be a ruler for the house of Israel. David was out there ruling the battlefield while Yah was fighting and defeating him right before his sight. Right before David's sight, Yah defeated every battle that David was out there fighting. Even the giant that Yah want to make look like little David defeated. No, David ain't killed not one thing. It was the right hand of the Father, something y'all never knew about because you dropped the ball in Genesis. You didn't want. That's one thing he said. They deny the power they're in. And that's where the problem, because that was that power of his right hand that defeated every battle that David had to fight, even the giant. You see? And you all took it and gave it to the flesh of a man and didn't teach it and preach it and instill it into the hearts of people so that we may glorify and edify and magnify the Most High Yah, that we may exalt him for all that he has done for David, that all that he has defeated for Israel, that all that he has done for Judah. Oh, no, we ain't giving him nothing. It's just like when you ask for a donation. We ain't giving her nothing. That's the wicked of the hearts of the people. And I say to you, you better pray that is a heart of the flesh. Because if it's your heart of the spirit, you have no eternal destiny in the kingdom. And that's for real and for real. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it. But what I liked about what Yah did, he brought up the prophet to my spirit, showing me how he can put a prophet in the midst of the kings and the leaders of men who he has put to be servants over the house of Israel. But I have to give my mouthpiece, Deborah. I have to lay in the midst of them, in the center of them. I got to put mine there. because they speaks for me. And that's what Nathan was really bringing to David. Now, why was he bringing? Look how Yah let David fight all them battles, and it was not one that he won himself. Yah told Nathan to tell him, I did that. The Most High Yah fought all those battles. I was with you from one end to the end. You never built me nothing. And that's what I say to you all today. The hearts of the people today is the same way. They don't want to build on nothing that really has to do with Yah. And Yah has shown me that in the last 2 years. He said, look at your videos. When they talking and your videos exalting me, magnify me, and glorify me, you see you got less viewers. You got less people like it. And I have seen it to be so true. So what I see is that the Father knew all the time before the foundation of the world that you wasn't going to glorify him. You wasn't going to magnify him. You wasn't going to exalt him. Because if David and them didn't do it, and what do you mean they didn't do it? Hey, David never built him a house of cedar, meaning a house of worship. So Yah told Nathan to tell David, I'm going to bring him down your seed, which that's how Solomon was assigned. See, it ain't David choosing Solomon. It was Yah chose Solomon. And that's the same thing with me. It ain't a flesh of a man that has to choose me to speak. Shut your mouth and sit down. Get you some more tickets for the circus where you clown at. You cannot let flesh choose that which is spirit. The spirit has already assigned everything into his will. Then he turned around and he wrote it in and wrote it out and closed it. And here we are walking it out, and just as stupid as the stupid can be, and can't see no spirit and truth in it. We can't see no light because Yah is not the lamp in us and the capital light. And that's why people don't know they left from their right. They just out here using deception just to get a YouTube check every month. So Sister Deborah, I hope this done something for you, because this was, to me, an awesome lesson. And I really enjoyed it because I learned. I'm telling you, these are areas I don't even go in. And if I have to go in it, it's because the Ruach taking me there. And I am grateful that he allowed me to live to bring this message to y'all tonight. If I don't wake up tomorrow, if I don't wake up past the night, I still will say to him, I still thank you for giving me the opportunity to get on this devil platform and speak spirit and truth with your light in my right hand. Shalom and shalom.